I would like to invite Mr. Paul Serrano, Chief Evangelist Nutanix APG, to give his presentation with theme Nutanix Enterprise Cloud, One OS, One Click. Mr. Paul Serrano, I give you the floor.
I'm going to talk about enterprise cloud and what that means. I'm going to talk about private clouds, public clouds, multi-clouds, and hybrid clouds. Not many people talk about all those different things, and we'll cover that here with Nutanix. So a lot of people are switching to cloud, especially here in Indonesia. You're starting to see that more and more. And people are wondering, really, why is that? Because these decisions are made at a very executive level. They're made at the board of directors level. They're made at the CIO level. And primarily it's because cloud enables them to innovate and enables them to deploy new applications that could not be deployed on anything else. Think about Uber as an example. Think about Pokemon Go as another example, right? Think about SaaS. All of these applications could not be deployed without a cloud. But when you think about cloud, typically you think about consumption model. You think about AWS, and you think about Azure, and you think about Google in the way that you consume it, and you don't think about all the things that are behind it, and the things that it's doing, and the things that it's offering, and the way that it's actually managed. It's vastly different than what you're probably doing today. Right? So we'll talk about the differences of those, because you're used to that, but what if you could have all the things like high performance? I could have different models of consumption. I could scale to millions or billions of users in a matter of hours. I have the ability to manage millions of nodes very easily with just a few people. To give you an example, Google has about 2.5 million nodes, and they can manage that with just a small number of people. In fact, for 2.5 million nodes, they can manage one person, 16,000 servers. One person. Can you imagine that? Is that what you do in your environment? You don't. Of course you don't do that. But Google needs that kind of scale. They need that kind of scalability and manageability and deployability because that's their business model. And many business models are becoming like that today. So all of the good things that you get from a Google or a Facebook or an Amazon, that's exactly what Nutanix is. The founders of Nutanix come from Google, they come from Facebook, they helped develop the Google file system, which is what makes Google Google. They helped develop the HBase system, which is what makes Facebook Facebook and gives you billions of pictures almost simultaneously any place in the world. That's what you're talking about, cloud attributes, cloud capabilities, and it's exactly what Nutanix is. So, Nutanix is software, but all software, of course, resides on hardware, and we want to give you that full experience that you get from a Google or a Facebook or an Amazon. And the way that we deploy this is on multiple platforms. So Nutanix has a platform. We have OEMs with Dell, and you heard earlier with Dell. That's the XC platform. We have OEMs with Lenovo. That's the HX platform. We have software that goes on UCS from Cisco. We have software that goes on HP. We have customized software that goes on other platforms as well. So the ability to go on any platform providing cloud attributes is something people want because it provides choice. It allows innovation, right? It reduces cost. If you have a private cloud, which is what Nutanix is or offers part of, then you are going to care about hypervisors, unlike the public cloud where you don't care about them. And so Nutanix has more support for more hypervisors that are popular than anybody else. Of course, everyone loves VMware, a great company, and we support ESXi as a hypervisor. We support Hyper-V from Microsoft. We support a version of KVM that we call Acropolis, meaning you get a hypervisor at no cost that has full function and full capability. And we support Zen Server if you have Citrix applications. So if you have that kind of environment, where I have multiple hypervisor, and that is the real world today, Nutanix provides a very nice solution. But what if I'm going to transition? I have some applications that I want to transition to another one. I want to move from ESXi to KVM, and then I want to move from KVM back to ESXi or to Hyper-V. Nutanix has something, one click, and you saw that on the first page, meaning one click and it's done. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to know how it happens. It happens automatically. Just like everything else with Nutanix. A single click to perform functions that require a lot of expertise and many people to do it. Again, just like Google, just like Facebook, just like Amazon, that's how Google gets that scalability. One person for 16,000 servers, that capability is built into the Nutanix software. Consumption models, the ability for you to decide how you want to deploy. I want to have an appliance on my premise because that security is really important to me. I cannot have my customer data in a cloud because for compliancy reasons, or maybe I'm a bank as an example. I can't do that. But I really love cloud capability. Nutanix gives you that capability. The ability to have software only. You can actually just buy the software and put it onto your nodes. We certify which ones go there, but you can do that. Or a pay-as-you-go model. As an example, we have some customers that have infrastructure and they say, I just, for Christmas time, in fact, we're seeing this right now, I want to be able to have 20% more servers or 30% more servers just for 3 months to cover me for Christmas time. And then Nutanix, I'm going to let it go back to you. So it's renting by the month. So consumption models are whatever you want it to be, and support for any type of a cloud, as well as any processor. Nutanix is the only company that provides cloud capability that covers x86 Intel, as well as IBM PC power systems. If you have AI application, cognitive applications, things that really require high performance, power systems are great for that. So you can use any combination of these. What does it do? This gives you choice. Choice gives you innovation capability. Wow. Okay, so Nutanix has a concept. You think about cloud as someplace over there. It's Azure, or it's Google, or it's somewhere else. Nutanix thinks of this differently and provides it differently. So in the core, which might be your data center, we allow you to have cloud capability. All the things, redundancy and resiliency and scalability and manageability and deployability, all those things come with Nutanix in the data center. But what about in your robo environments, your edge accounts? Maybe you're a bank and you have remote offices, or you're a retail organization and you have remote locations. Well, usually those remote locations have less capability, right? Not with Nutanix. It is a cloud. Everything that you have in the core data center, you have at the edge. Well, what about at the edge itself? Things like oil rigs or mobile command post or IT. That's out at the edge. Again, Nutanix look at that as a cloud also, with all the same levels of the capability, with a single control plane to manage it all. And it's not limited to the core distributed or edge, but what about disaster recovery? We have inherent capabilities for disaster recovery, but now we've just announced, if you've seen this, something called Xi, and we're doing this with Google as an example. This means we have the ability to back up and do DR directly with the same management system, and I'm going to show you what that actually looks like. Or I want to move a workload over to AWS or Google Azure. But you know what? I don't want to learn AWS and I don't want to learn Google. I just want it to happen when I click and say, move this workload from here, over here. Don't tell me how it's going to happen, just make it happen, but tell me how much it's going to cost. And so Nutanix provides that capability, more comprehensive than anything that's out there. Most people think about cloud as a place you put certain applications, and in fact, Nutanix has tens of thousands of nodes that are running SAP, ERP, Oracle, CRM, VDI applications, Splunk, Hadoop, Hortonworks, SQL applications, all the Microsoft Exchange applications and everything else they have. All production, tier 1 applications running on the cloud today, 24/7. They don't fail, just like Google doesn't fail. Yes, you have things that fail, but they self-heal. You didn't know there was a problem. It heals itself automatically and keeps on going. That's what a cloud gives you. Again, for any application out there. When I talk to CIO, and I typically talk to CIOs and people at the board of director level, they care about other things than virtualized environments. Virtualized is great, that is what's going on today, but they have a lot of older applications. What about my Unix applications? What about my AIX applications? What about my standalone Oracle applications? How do I bring that into the cloud? And so we provide a capability to bring bare metal services into Nutanix so that you have the same storage, the same cloud-like capabilities that you have across all the other applications that are actually virtualized. What about file services, which typically is not really cloudable? That also goes into Nutanix so that you consistently manage, support, maintain, and grow the environment that you have with a cloud-like set of capabilities. And what about the future? What about things like Kubernetes, containers? What about Docker? Can I have that on the same platform, the same cloud richness and functionality? Yes. You have that with Nutanix. We provide all those things. I want to be able to create a container and move it to Google on Kubernetes in one click. I don't want to learn how to do it. I just want it to happen. That's the power you get with the Nutanix platform. We provide all of the applications that allow you to bring in an application, a virtualized environment, to bring in your databases into the cloud, to test them, to make sure that they will work, not just with read and write capability, but actually beat it up, make things go up and down, and see the results on your core application. Will it work when you put it in the cloud? These tools allow you to be able to do that. 3 minutes, so I got to go a little faster. I talked about our DR capability. Our view is very much like Apple because Nutanix is like Apple. We take storage, compute, networking, and combine it into a very single small box. And so we allow you, with a single control system, to just put a click, just like Apple. If you have an iPhone and you say, iPhone photo library, all your pictures and all your music magically are going into the cloud. You don't have to know how it happens. It's exactly the same with Nutanix. That same concept, a single click with your workload, and now it's backed up in TR. Nothing could be easier. No expertise is required. Cost effective. So I have 2.5 minutes, so I have to get through this quick. This is a visualization of how that happens, but again, we make it very easy. There's no technical people that actually are required to make this happen. When the primary site comes back up, it automatically comes back over. So again, a full set of capabilities around disaster recovery are also there. We have multi-tenancy capability. What if you have multiple groups and they want to support themselves? So we have something very similar to what you would think about with OpenStack. I want to provide these kinds of services to the HR department, to the engineering department, to the accounting department, and let them control their environment. I can do that with something we call self-service portal. We have security systems. So what about security between virtualized environments? Not the Palo Alto networks, not the checkpoint where I care about north and south of perimeter, but from virtual machine to virtual machine to virtual machine. We provide that in single click, very intuitive, graphical interface, so you don't have to be an engineer to make that happen. So very easy to actually use. The management system takes all these separate elements and combines them into one screen. Really easy to use. Single GUI, single user interface, constant terminology across all of those different disciplines. Really easy. The idea here is you can typically reduce the staff. I don't like saying that to people, but you can reduce a network operations center by up to 80%, and we have seen that done because it's so easy. Because it's so intuitive. Just that, and again, that's why Google and Facebook and Amazon don't need that many people managing their systems. Okay, is there a return on investment? I have 1 minute, so I'll just show you an example. Return of 500% ROI. That sounds crazy. Most people call me a liar. These are the things that happen when something's truly disruptive. Now, if you think I'm a liar, Amazon's ROI is also 500%. Why? Because they're a cloud and Nutanix is a cloud. It's exactly the same concept. So let's take a look. Typically, we can reduce a current environment, your environment, from 50 to 90%. What does that actually look like? You save on a lot of things. I won't go through it because, again, I just have seconds left. But here's a customer with one design, 230 RU. This is 3-tier infrastructure, probably what you're doing today. This is not a best-case scenario. This is one of our typical customers. Here's a Nutanix, 54 RU. This is the power of hyperconverged infrastructure or cloud technology. Think how much less electrical, how much air conditioning, how much less weight that's actually on a floor. Great for service providers. And for this particular customer, a saving over $10 million, which on average, if you have it up to 200 nodes, you can save about 10 million US dollars. That's what you get with cloud. Do I save money if I'm going with Nutanix versus AWS as an example? A very small workload, you can see this at the very bottom, 100 VMs expanding to 1750 over the course of 3 years, $2.5 million. Much cheaper than public cloud at the end of the day. And hopefully if you come to the booth, we can explain that. My time is actually up. The reasons that you want to go here: provides more innovation, gives you more capability. This is what your board of directors is looking for. A massive TCO ROI, less people to support it, easy GUI interface, and again, something that allows you to move into the future very rapidly and move to public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, as you see fit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul Serrano.
Test.